And it's Arcanine PC. We're by far the greatest team that the world has ever seen. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You can call me Kai Guy. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. If this is your first time here, and a big special welcome to you. I am your coach of the Arcanine Pokemon Club. That is Arcanine PC for short, and we are here for week 8 battle here in the Swarm division of season 5 of the NBA. And you might be thinking to yourself, Kai, we just had the week 6 battle, you big dummy. 8 doesn't come after 6, 7 comes after 6. And to that I say, you are correct, dear viewer. But if you missed the end of the last video, I did say that for week 7 we were getting a forfeit victory because my opponent and I did not link up. Our opponent was not able to link up with us at our scheduled time, so because of that we were given the forfeit victory and we were given an automatic win for that. So we moved to 6-1 because of that, and now is officially week number 8 on the year. So going into this week we are 6-1 and taking on Cory this week, who is 5-2. The winner of this match, actually, between me and Cory, gets the #1 seed in the division. Because if I win, I'll have the most wins and the best winning percentage. If Cory wins, we'll be tied for most wins. He'll be 6-2 along with 2 other coaches, but he will have the best differential, and that will be our tiebreaker that will put him above me into the #1 seed. So basically this match determines the top seed for playoffs, so a lot to play for right here. So it should be a pretty interesting one. Cory's got a very scary team. I'll make sure I put a picture on screen for you guys so you can follow along. We'll talk about what he can bring, what I am going to be bringing, and then we'll go and jump into the battle. So looking at Cory's team, this is one of my favorite drafts this season, by the way. I think it's very solid. He's got Darkrai, Landorus Therian, Rotom Heat, Kartana, Weezing Galar, Urshifu Single Strike, who is one of his Terra captains, but as a quick heads up, Wicked Blow is banned on that Pokemon. His other Terra captain is Garganachi. Mega Glalie is on his team, as well as Bramblegast and Gastrodon. Very solid team, a lot of very annoying mons to deal with, especially that speedy Darkrai outspeeding my entire team. Scarflando T could be annoying. Beast Boost Kartana could get annoying and out of hand as well. Very, very solid team from my opponent. So hopefully we're able to bring our best 6 this week and be able to take him on head to head to lock up that #1 seed. So let's go ahead and jump into the mons I'm bringing and why I'm bringing them, all that cool stuff. Starting off, we've got Parasol Beauty, the Pheasantipity, holding the Assault Vest with Toxic Chain, and the moves U-Turn, Moonblast, Heat Wave, Sludge Bomb. This is my go-to answer for Darkrai this week. The only move it can really hurt us with is Psychic, but if it doesn't run, depending on the coverage it runs, we could just be able to sit on it for free. So if it doesn't have Psychic for us, Pheasantipity kind of just sits on it literally for free. U-Turn's there to keep a momentum, which is very nice. Moonblast does really good damage to Darkrai. And while Pheasantipity does have more attack than special attack, Playoff has a chance to miss, which could be annoying to deal with. And based on our spread, the Oko, we were trying to see if we could get it to Oko, but we wanted to be Aspidef tanky as possible. Playoff does not Oko, and the range between Playoff and Moonblast is quite negligible. So we ended up deciding just to go the Moonblast and avoid the possible misses. One move we won't be avoiding the possible misses with, though, is Heat Wave, which is mainly here for Kartana. And then Sludge Wave is mainly here just to trigger our Toxic Chain, get some poisons off, to add to that chance and everything as well. Max HP, max Spadef on this thing with a tiny bit of special attack. So you might be thinking we can't really heal ourselves because we're holding the Assault Vest, so we can't use Roost. But we do have a mon later in the team that can help with that and make sure we're able to get some extra healing going. But this is mainly here for Darkrai, so hopefully we can kind of shut it down. Next up is Pink Conchera, the Tapu Lele, holding a Twisted Spoon to boost the power of its Psychic type moves, as well as with the ability Psychic Surge to set the Psychic terrain. And we got the moves Energy Ball, Moonblast, Psychic, and Focus Blast. Being able to switch up moves this week for Lele was really important. I originally had Specs and even Scarf on this thing, but we ended up going a bit more in a different direction, which is why we're going Twisted Spoon, because switching up moves in this game is very important to me. And if Lele wasn't able to switch up its moves, we could just bring in something for free on us after we weren't able to click something. Like, for example, if we Psychic something like the Weezing and then they bring in Darkrai, well, now I have to switch out if I'm Specs or if I'm Scarf. So I wanted the Twisted Spoon here to be able to switch up those moves. Energy Ball does good damage to Gastrodon. It basically one-shots it. Moonblast is mainly here for the Urshifu before it tears, as well as the Kartana, or excuse me, the Darkrai. Psychic does really good damage to the Weezing, does good damage to basically everything on the team. It'll probably be my go-to attack for everything that's not immune or resistant to it. Then Focus Blast is mainly here for the Kartana, as well as the Garganacci before it tears, but even then Psychic will still do good damage in terrain. We're rocking the max special attack 32 Spadef, 224 speed on this thing, with a Timid Nature, enough to outspeed a max speed Landorus Therian form. So that's going to be Tapu Lele this week, Pink Concerto. Next up is Red Hot Chili, our Moltres, holding the heavy duty boots with Flame Body, and the moves Roost, Defog, Flamethrower, and U-Turn. Pretty standard Moltres set. It's kind of the one I usually like to rock. Heavy duty boots make sure we don't take Stealth Rock Chip. Flame Body is here to make our opponent's physical attackers have a 30% chance to take a burn if they want to make contact with us, or force them to run something like Protective Pads or Punching Glove. So that's pretty nice that we force our opponents to do that. Roost is here for longevity to heal us up. Defog to remove my opponent's hazards because he has a lot of hazard setters. Flamethrower is there for just general damage, and U-Turn is there to keep a momentum. Max HP, max physical defense on this thing with a bold nature. Be as physically tanky as possible. This is going to try and be a good shutdown for Kartana, for Shifu, maybe even for something like Lando, depending on its moveset. Bramblegas. It kind of shuts down a lot of possible physical attackers. So hopefully we're able to put in work with it this week. Speaking of mods that we're going to be hopefully able to put in work with this week because of how insane they look. We've got Leechgrave, our OGERPON Cornerstone, holding the Cornerstone mask, of course, with the Sturdy ability and the moves Swords Dance, Ivy Cudgel, Horn Leech, and Brick Break. This mon goes stupid this week, like absolutely stupid. We are able to boost our attack by 2 stages with Swords Dance, and then Ivy Cudgel. Landorus, even if it's defensive, ain't gonna want to take more than one of those. Rotom, he ain't taking one. We've got Brick Break for Kartana. Weezing ain't gonna want to take more than one. The Urshifu gets Brick Breaked. The Garganacci gets Horn Leech. We've got the Ivy Cudgel for the Glalie, Ivy Cudgel for Bramblegas, and a Horn Leech for Gastrodon. This mon goes stupid here. Like, honestly, the OGERPON sweep is possible this week, so hopefully we can make that happen, because it looks absolutely ridiculous how good this mon looks into his team. We're rocking max attack and max speed on this guy. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed Kartana. So we should be able to outspeed everything, barring the Darkrai here, which is good. The only issue with that is Darkrai being able to revenge us is a bit annoying, but we do have Parasol Beauty to be able to eat a hit from it. So that's going to be Leechgrave. Hopefully we can pick up that sweep. Then we got Behemoth the Garchomp holding leftovers with Rough Skin and the moves Spike, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Roar. Pretty standard defensive Garchomp set, kind of just a go-to hazard setter. Lefties heals us. Rough Skin makes the opponent take chip damage for attacking us. Spikes and Stealth Rocks are very nice into my opponent's team. He doesn't have a ton of ways of removing them, so that's really good for us. Earthquake might not be able to hit something like the Landorus or the Therian, or the Landorus Therian or the Rotom, but we do have Roar to be able to phase those out. Roar is also good for something like a setup Urshifu or a setup Garganacci, so that could be important to get off the damage on those. I thought about putting Dragon Tail instead, but in case of a Terra Fairy on the Urshifu or the Garganacci, I decided Roar is probably better. Just to make sure we can actually still phase them out, because obviously if they're a fairy type, they'd be immune to dragon type moves, including Dragon Tail, so this way we can still phase them out of here. Max HP, max defense on this guy with a nice and beautiful impish nature. Tiny little bit of attack here to be an annoying physically defensive monster to help back up Moltres. And finally, we got Aqua Tank, our Alomomola, holding the heavy duty boots with Regenerator, and the moves Wish, Baton Pass, Play Rough, and Protect. Heavy duty boots make sure we don't take any chip damage from opponent's hazards. We can pivot into our Moltres to get those gone. Regenerator will heal us for a third of our HP upon switch out, which is why we've got this Baton Pass right here as well. Wish passing to the rest of the team is very important this week, especially something like Parasol Beauty or Leechgrave. So we want to make sure we can keep them healthy. We have Baton Pass instead of Flip Turn this week because of the Gastrodon. It has the Storm Drain ability, and I don't really want to give that a free boost to its water moves. So this way we're still able to keep up our momentum on our side of the field. Play Rough is mainly here if he wants to try and use my Aqua Tank as setup fodder for the Urshifu. So that way before it tears, we can just go for a nice and beautiful Play Rough. Surprise it with a nice and little 4 times effective move. And then Protect is kind of just here if the Glalie explodes on us, or if we need to wish ourselves back up to good HP, we can do it that way. So that's going to be Aqua Tank, max HP, max Badef. Nice and beautiful sassy nature this week. That's gonna be the team we are rocking for our battle here against Cory to determine the number 1 seed in the division. Let me know what you guys think of the team down in the comments section below. What would you have done differently? What do you think that I did well? Make sure to make those notes in the comments. And definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here and enjoying the Draft League content, because it helps me out a freaking ton. I think I've held you all up long enough, so why don't we go ahead and jump into the battle? I will see you guys here in just a moment. All right, we are back and all connected with Cory. Had the battle, and we are here for a little post commentary action. So looking at their team, they brought a lot of the mons I expected. I'm surprised no Rotom Heat, but I guess that mon does kind of get destroyed by OGERPON with an Ivy Cudgel, so I guess that could be annoying for them to deal with. Looking at possible leads, probably either the Garganacci or the Glalie, maybe even the Lando T to get hazards up. I think the the Gastrodon could be a lead, but I don't foresee it being like hazards because he's got the Lando, the Glalie, and the Garganacci here. It's because I think he's probably just Spadef I keep saying Garchomp, Spadef Gastrodon or something. So possible leads I would say would probably be either the Glalie, Garganacci, or the Lando, and honestly, OGERPON matches up pretty well against the majority of those, so I'm gonna go ahead and lead with my OGERPON right here. As we see, he is gonna lead with the Glalie. We see Terra types, and we see that the Urshifu is Terra Steel, and the Garganacci is Terra Grass. So I did call the Terra Grass and the Garganacci. Terra Steel, I see the vision, but I think we have ways of dealing with that, so we're kind of chilling. Whereas, of course, we actually didn't bring a Terra Captain this week. So looking at this matchup right here, a nice and beautiful Ivy Cudgel will pick up the KO on the Glalie, so I know for sure he can't stay in, but I have no reason not to rip it, just on the chance it does do good damage to something, or even could crit something coming in because of the high crit chance. More than likely switching is probably either the Gastrodon, the Lando, or the Garganacci, but I guarantee you don't bring in Gastrodon on this thing because you die to a Hornleech next turn. So in comes the Lando T. Makes sense, get the Intimidate off and all that. And I'm gonna go ahead and click my Ivy Cudgel right here. It does do massive damage. I am -1. I am intimidated, and that did 41%. So more than likely, this is not a defensive Landorus. It's probably offensive. So that's actually very helpful information for us. And honestly, if we can get a Sword Stance up, even if this thing intimidates us coming in, it gets KO'd from this range easily. Because 41% from -1, absolutely +1 is 59. So we're chilling. That's very good chip damage for us. I don't really want to stay in though in case he's Scarf, so I'm gonna bring in my Garchomp right here as he's gonna click the Sludge Wave. Not really sure what that's for. I guess a super effective move for OGERPON. I'm sure there was more to it than that, but it definitely took me by surprise when Sludge Wave was clicked right here. I'm just gonna get my lefties on my Garchomp and probably go ahead and step my Stealth Rocks right here as he's gonna bring in the Garchomp. Oh my god, bro, how many times am I gonna say Garchomp for this thing? Gastrodon. Cynthia's team is confusing me apparently. So Gastrodon's gonna come in as I set my Stealth Rocks. If it wants to set its Stealth Rocks, it can. I don't really want to stay in case he's got the Ice Beam, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and bring in either Lele or the Leech Grave, because Energy Ball or Hornleech will KO it. So I'm gonna get my lefties and I'm gonna switch on out of here into my Lele. As we see, he does have the Toxic right here, which is a bit annoying. I guess it's not as bad as Leech Grave getting Toxic. It's still frustrating, but we can work around it. We can definitely work around it, thankfully. If he wants to stay in right here, that's fine. I can just click Energy Ball, and I'm pretty sure he dies, unless he's Rindo Berry. Which I don't know if you... Well, I guess you probably might want to be if I have an OGERPON on my team, but I feel like it might even die through Rindo. I'm not going to lie. So I am just going to stay in right here. We see, actually, no, I pull a hard double into my OGERPON. I'm not quite sure why I did that. That was kind of a weird play on my part. I guess it makes sense. That was the main thing I was worried about with bringing in my OGERPON. What was I thinking right here? I should have just clicked Energy Ball. What was I doing? But I can click Hornleech right here, get a crit. I don't think that mattered, and it is gonna drop. So we get fully healed back up, which is nice. I'm a little surprised he stayed in right there. But then again, I've also made probably not the smartest play just last turn, so I guess it happens. In comes the Garganacci. I'm like, whatever, man. I know he's gonna tear right here. I'm just gonna SD. Nice and free for me. He is gonna bring in he's either gonna go for the Sulk right here. That's fine. I don't really care, honestly, because I am now a +2 OGERPON that can heal itself with a nice and beautiful Hornleech. Ivy Cudgel, big damage, 79% is huge, as he's gonna go for the Iron Defense right here, which is really nice for me. because now I can KO it next turn with another Ivy Cudgel. He can't really stay in, or he can't really swap anything in on this thing. And even better, he's already used Terra on the Garganacci, so he cannot Terra the Urshifu now, which is really nice. He's gonna get a little bit of lefties back. I am gonna take more Salt Cure, but overall it don't matter. I just click Ivy Cudgel and it's gonna drop. So we're good, we're good. In comes the Darkrai right here, which does unfortunately outspeed me. So it comes down to, do I want to save Leech Grave right here, or do I want to just go into my pivot for my Fez? It was a tough call. I ended up sacrificing my Leech Grave right here. Probably wasn't the smartest play overall, but I think Lele can still put in work, so I think we'll be fine. I feel like the smarter play probably would have been going Fez, but I also didn't want Fez to get put to sleep or anything, so I ended up making this call. Probably not the correct one, but oh well, it happens. Speaking of Fez, it's going to come out right here. As we see, he hits a Hypnosis. If I was me, I miss those. So that's a bit frustrating. We will burn a turn of sleep right here, which is good. We can see what he wants to do. He's going to chip us down with Bad Dreams. I don't like that. He's got the Nasty Plot, which is a bit scary, and depending on his moveset, this could be very annoying. But we do see he's revealed 3 of his 4 moves. So he's got Dark Pulse, Hypnosis, Nasty Plot. If he doesn't have Psychic, he doesn't really have a way to do good damage to Fez. So that's honestly okay at the moment, especially if we can wake up this turn. Dark Pulse is only doing 18 thanks to my AV. We do wake up. And I'm going to click that Moonblast and do a solid 59% and get the Poison Fezandipity. I bloody love you. So now this thing is on a timer and we are chilling. So he's just going to go for the Dark Pulse there, try to go for a flinch. He does not get it. We U-turn on out of here. And bring in our Moltres, who matches up pretty well with the rest of the team outside of Landorus. In comes the Urshifu. That is fine by me. He's got the Stone Edge. I kind of figured he would, but I could just click Flamethrower here. I'm staying in because I don't really need Moltres. But now I can pivot in my Garchomp. He goes for Stone Edge. I eat it. Does literally nothing. If he's got the Ice Punch, that's fine. I don't really care. I'm going to hard double right here back into Moltres. Try and get that 30%. Do not get it. I could swap again, try and pull switch out shenanigans. He makes a smart play right there and just attacks what's in front of him. So that's unfortunate. Moltres is going to drop right there. But now I can freely bring in my Fez. He's going to U-turn on out of here. Out into the Glalie, who will be taking Stealth Rock because it cannot hold boots. Moonblast, good chip damage. Any poisons? No poisons. Glalie going to Mega Evolve and go for the Double Edge. Ow. That actually did really good damage. He's going to take a little bit more chip as well, as in comes the Alomomola. He's got the Trailblaze. That's a little bit scary because this thing being speedy is a little bit terrifying. I'm gonna get a little bit of chip off right here. I thought about clicking Protect this turn. I kind of wish I would have, because then Mola would have been like chilling down easy street. But I did not click the Protect. So because of that, Mola's gonna take a lot of necessary damage. So unfortunate things are unfortunate. But the Glalie is gonna explode. And in comes the Landorus. I probably don't want to stay on this. I have a free switch in this thing for some reason. I should have just gone Garchomp. He's got the Earth Power, but honestly Lele kind of just wins from this range anyway, especially because we've got the terrain up now. So this thing hits 322 speed, we hit 317, so it will outspeed us, but then we've got these two in the back to handle it. And if he's not max speed on this thing, then we absolutely destroy it. We do see he is max speed. He's got the U-turn off. But now I can just freely go into my Chomp, click Earthquake, and that should be all she wrote. We'll live an Ice Punch. He was the Punching Glove. He does not take Rocky Helmet, or I mean Rough Skin. And we will KO the Urshifu with Earthquake, and your Arcanine Pokemon Club, your Arcanine PC, move to 7-1 on the season and lock up the #1 seed for the playoffs. Yeah, good GG's to Cory. That was a great match. The Darkrai set was really cool, I'm not gonna lie. If you had Psychic, I'm pretty sure that just won you the game, because Fez would not have been able to eat a lot of those. I was interested where the Trailblaze Glalie was going. Apparently it was to go boom, but that could have been a very annoying mon to deal with, especially late game, because it would easily Oko my Garchomp as well, and Mola doesn't really want to take another big hit like that. So yeah, it was a pretty solid game. Let's take a look at his full in-depth team. So yeah, his last was Ice Beam for Garchomp. I had a feeling it might be, which makes sense. So he was Soft Sand Landorus with, he was, okay, so he was close to max HP. but he did not have any defense or Spadef investment. He had Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Taunt, Stealth Rock. I believe he said this was a like a counter for Alomomola, I want to say. So that's interesting. Urshifu did have the Punching Glove, max attack, max speed. Makes sense, makes sense. He had the Ice Punch, Stone Edge, CC U-turn. All that's making sense. Spadef on the Garganacci, okay. And then the Glalie last move was Spikes. Yeah, I had a feeling. No Mirror Coat, no Rindo Berry, anything on this. It was just leftovers. Did pack the Ice Beam for Chomp as well. He had good prep, not gonna lie. That was a very close game, very good game. Both of my mons were at 20%, so it came down to the wire right there. So GG's to Cory. Maybe we'll get that run back in playoffs because he's locked in at the 4 seed. Your boy's locked in at the 1 seed. We finished the regular season 7-1, probably the best draft league record I've ever had, which is pretty cool actually. Hopefully we can keep that good luck streak going in the playoffs. So I hope you guys will be back here next Sunday to cheer on your Arcanine Pokemon Club in week 1 of the playoffs. We'll be taking on Metro Shock next week, so hopefully you guys are hyped up for that. I really appreciate you guys checking out the video. Definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here. It really helps me out a ton, and it lets me know you guys are enjoying the draft league content and lets me know to keep making them. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support. The season's been super fun. Always a blast in the NBA, and I'm really looking forward to the off season. So make sure you guys stick around for that, because we didn't participate last season, but this season, oh boy, it's gonna be fun. Let me know what you guys saw the battle down in the comments. Let me know what you did differently, how did I do, all that cool stuff. And leave a like because it helps me out a ton. Definitely subscribe if y'all are new around here, and I will catch you guys next Sunday for playoffs in the NBA's Swarm division this season. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you then. Until then, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Take care and peace.